more than just your manhood. It's critical for mental clarity, mood, sleep, and overall vitality. But luckily, the Patriots at Chalk.com and TeamOQ.com have formulated a blend of natural herbal supplements that ingredients their male vitality.
the episode, and I said to him, I'm not necessarily against free bus rides or free public transports in cities, because, it's a good use of taxpayer money in general, but you kind of need to be ethnically homogenous, have very strict rules on the buses, be policing them heavily. No crime, and then basically be able to afford it, not be in a huge deficit, not be spending $5 billion on illegals, not be spending $5 billion annually on the homeless in New York, and then it's fine, but in a situation like this where Mamdani's trying to become the mayor of New York and implement this across all 5 boroughs, I think New York has like a mandate where they have to have a balanced budget, like they can't go into debt too much or whatever. Things, then you're just going to raise taxes in one of the most heavily taxed cities already on Earth. Yeah. What does that do? The economic illiterate, the people who are successful, ultimately they'll just move to New Jersey or something. Yeah. So
It's a good idea for like more
like Burlington, Vermont could probably get away with this.
Well, left light
Financially and without raising taxes. Every major city in America is at a razor's edge between taxes and what they're spending on Indiana Jones. He's being fined money because his campaign issued a statement that they'll, of course, return any donations that are not in compliance with the FB law. But it just shows you who's out there. Foreigners really want to do that. I think one was his mother. This is from an article from the New York Times. Black unemployment is up due to cuts to the federal government and DEI. Job losses are concentrated among black women in HR departments. And Hanania says, amazing that an entire section of the economy is a jobs program for one demographic.
That is very interesting, and I wonder if these black women now who are out of a job might be interested in a little H-1B thing.
Can I interest you in some ethnic resentment?
Welcome to our
A free
side.
bus ride to some ethnic resentment, man.
Yeah, it should. And then we have some context here, nothing crazy, right?
Yeah, just basically, he summed it up. Job losses are concentrated among black women working in professional services such as human resources. So a lot of those are the DEI jobs. According to Ms. Wilson's analysis of federal data, a hiring freeze and mass layoffs in the federal workforce, which will continue during the government shutdown. that's taxpayer money being wasted, and so I'm not shedding a tear for any of this, but we would like to foreign born workers because they are occupying jobs and homes.
Very true. All right, let's go for a little Israel section. Nothing crazy. We're not going to harp on it. But first, Glenn Beck was doing a speech, and then he had Q&A after, and here's one of the questions he got.
Israel has an overwhelming lobby over the United States, and we have unconditional support. The wars between the Congress and Libya, etc. Through those wars, we have lost troops, American servicemen.
We're lobbying everybody else, and they will. No one clapped. No one clapped. Starting to notice nothing. We're talking about
This is what every Q&A consumers.
Instagram reels, and they go, I'm going to talk to you.
Yeah,
There's no filter.
and it's perfect. It's a great way to put everyone out. Because you have to be honest. Question, and if you have to kind of defend Israel more than you should, you get exposed. And that's actually what's happening even more for violent violence.
I think Glenn Beck at the end of that said AIPAC should register as foreign. Good. He did say, so if he's working there,
Would make him say
would he have said that otherwise? Make him say that. I'm just kidding. We got to give credit where they do.
Well, we gotta make him say it. That's what all the Q&A should look like. And then can you read that tweet? Said?
Yeah, Joel. Back to Detroit. Political and spiritual revival in America. Rylan Holohan said 100.
We should have done that. Now every question you get at your Q&As after your speech is all going to be about AIPAC. It's going to be about immigration and demographic change, and you won't know how to answer it. And you'll eventually stop taking Q&As, and then you'll prove that you're not for the free market of ideas.
Yeah,
That's how it goes.
it's an easy cycle, and we've seen that cycle before. More than 18 know about that cycle.
Yeah. And then you have to be plugged into the computer to understand it. The kid's not plugged in. You go, oh, this is a strong movement. You have to acknowledge it, get behind it, or get ran over by it.
Yeah, what do you think about foreign influence in the United States? And he glitches out and goes, no new taxes, like Reagan talking points. It's not going to work, right? Yeah. We're melting pot.
And then Dinesh D'Souza, hate to see us lose another one. He was good. He had good documentaries. He's a smart guy. And we apparently lost him. You read that tweet?
He said, pro-Israel, Trump, Rubio, Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, Ted Cruz, Laura Loomis, anti-Israel, Tucker, Candace, Ilhan Omar, Steve Bannon, Mamdani, Marjorie Taylor. Interesting configuration, isn't it?
And all he did was add 2 Democrats to the bottom list. If you take the 2 Democrats to the bottom list, pretty good. Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin. Weird. Being anti-Semitic. Can you read the tweet and then his reply?
Yeah, RFK said children who are circumcised early have double the rate of autism, and it's highly likely because they're given Tylenol. And Jerry Nadler says this is an anti-Semitic anti-Semitic remark. I'm calling all my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to clearly denounce it.
Clearly denounce it, but like, doesn't that make sense? You get circumcised and then they give you baby Tylenol, and then Tylenol's bad and it fries their brain.
And you get stabbed. You're an autist.
But then Jerry Nadler says this is anti-Semitic, but 65 to 80% of American males are circumcised, and then there's only 2% of the population that's Jewish. So it has something to do with Jewish.
Yeah.
But we got, and then I'm sure everyone will come
Anti-Semitic.
together. Everyone will come together and agree that this is anti-Semitic and needs to be condemned, and then it'll be another wasted day in Congress.
Yep.
All right, so for our next story, this is maybe my favorite story from the Israel section.
Okay.
I'm not going crazy, but $100 million podcast. And then she launched it. So she said, "Oh, I'm gonna do the math." She launched it, and when it was live, it got 100 that million per viewer. $100 million, 100. Our show gets 100,000 viewers times $1 million. Our show's worth $100 billion.
Holy shit. We gotta go public.
We did.
We gotta go public, brother.
And then we had debates about it, and obviously more views did come. Something like that. And she has her round table, but can you read the first tweet?
And then CBS is owned by Larry Ellison now. CBS, Paramount, Larry Ellison is kind of in that market of media. And he also owns TikTok now.
You see the moves that are being made.
Yeah.
You see where the chips are falling.
Yeah.
You see where the pieces are being moved to.
Larry Ellison is coming for it all. He's like 80. He's really old.
But he'll get.
He's got a little Asian wife.
Really?
Yeah, a little Asian wife.
You see his hammer.
I don't know.
Look at the young blood. He'll get. First
roundtable discussion after takeover, and it's had 2,300 views total. And the top comment is a guy saying, "I clicked on this video on
accident.
darn."
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it ended up with slightly more views, like in the thousands. But maybe they'll pay for viewers. I've seen the ads on the street. Earn money listening to Jewish podcasts. $15 per podcast. Larry Ellison's paying those too. Paying that out. He PayPal's you.
Are you sure?
No.
You gotta say allegedly or
I
something.
don't know if it's Larry.
Ellison's spending right now, and he will spend on you.
Yeah.
If you do something.
Allegedly, but there are groups that can earn money to listen to Jewish podcasts. I don't even know what that means.
I don't get it.
And then also, before we move on, you see that Susan Rice and Hillary Clinton are the first guests.
No, I didn't.
That's who the roundtable was with.
Okay.
Kind of gives you a hint as to who's involved and who's in on it.
And where CBS is headed.
Yeah, but it's good to see they have no pull. They can't get organic views. They'll maybe pay for some bot farms, and they'll get 100,000 views and 50 comments. But they really can't fake people caring about their stupid shit.
Yeah.
Which is the key. And I've been done with Newsmax ever since they buckled on the 2020 election fraud stuff. I'm not really a huge fan. I don't know if they've been bought or what, but they're doing this Israel first shit too. They have a whole like Today in Israel section on their show, on their social media. Newsmax, seller.
Okay.
And then someone had a tweet that replied, "Can you give that a read?"
Yeah, very normal stuff here. Just an American magazine buying ads to convince you that a guy who was assassinated 1 month ago really loved Israel.
And we all know what
Zoom out. One of those zoom out. You go, what's happening here?
Yeah, people are trying to fight back against the narrative, and they're paying for Newsmax ads using one of their assets. And then don't forget the tweet that Charlie tweeted days before he was killed.
Or the telegram message,
The
right?
telegram, yeah.
He said, Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel views.
But now they're kind of rewriting history because that was when his team right before he died.
Yeah.
And we need to be careful because when Israel feels like they're losing control of the narrative, that's when they do like false flag attacks to get everyone back. So to get us to go back on Israel's side, they're really gonna have to do something
Well,
like
you
nuke an entire city.
Well, don't you personally believe that October 7th was some sort of stand-down order?
Yeah.
So they're just off the heels of a false flag, if that's what you believe.
But I don't think they closed the false flag department.
They're still working. They're still showing up 9 to 5.
What do we got next? It's like, subway bomb. All right, last night, radio section. Let's find for ice skating. This section is a little lighter. Things are they're not counting down, but it's not too crazy clip-wise. There's this group in Chicago who are making ice and explaining traffic. They're called the Rammers. Trucks with rain guards on them, and we'll have to see their show.
And it's kind of like the equivalent of road rage, just intimidating any sort of federal vehicle, right?
Yeah, Mad Max types, and they're right behind this ice guy.
You
So
get
we
it.
get it. They have like the grill cars, and they're going crazy.
And that's basically what happened when ICE had to shoot that woman. Like, this is kind of a look into what led up to the whole event. They said they got rammed.
So that's something.
Put them in a self-defense scenario.
And even that clip, everyone's breaking the law. They're on the wrong side of the road. They're going through red lights.
Yeah.
You get those guys? Keep an eye on that. And I do have, unfortunately, feelings that things do escalate. And once you're done fighting happens, it's going to get I don't think it's going to de-escalate. Next, there's a reason to not be blackpilling.
Yeah, there's the picture. It's the journalist who threw something at the police, and that's why they were arrested.
Fat woman journalist.
Fat woman, and there's a different angle where her ass is I work for WGN. She's begging. But yeah, Rod Nationalist, Border Patrol, fat female journalist is Boston Crab, and you're blackpilling.
That's so good.
Holding the neck up.
It's like a Hulk Hogan.
Boston Crab.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
And then this Antifa confronted somebody. I don't know where it happened.
You know who this is?
No. But we see the end result.
Tried to snatch the phone, didn't work. Oh! But the swing.
Oh, left him. Well, that's what you get, Antifa.
Yeah. One of those, he hit first, or I had the right to, it was self-defense. I don't care. Happy to see you get knocked out.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
So if someone's holding their phone and then you swipe at the phone, but you don't touch anything, did you do anything?
Maybe attempted assault. I don't know.
Like, say we're in a...
I think all the crimes need some sort of result. My phone's broken. What are the damages? My hands hurt. So if there's no damage, you can get away with it. But
like, if we were getting into a fight and I swung at you and I missed, and then you hit me,
I can swing away.
You can swing away?
Of course. Yeah,
Okay. You don't need to get hit first. Okay. Let's get to our migrant section. You ready?
Yes.
Let's do this.
Chill,
brother.
Fletch.
Let's do this, brother.
Chill, Fletch.
All right. First things first. The new CEO of Coors Light, banquet beer.
Molson Coors, yeah.
It's going to be foot beer now.
The CEO who got his start at the company in Golden, and it's Rahul Goyal will be the new CEO. He's an idiot.
So, foot beer. That's all I have for that. committing a felony.
Basically, can't even communicate with the guy when he's caught, can't even articulate anything, barely English as a third language, probably. I wouldn't call it a second language even. At that point, you're not even good enough.
Not good.
Yeah.
And then we have some updates from the CDL and the whole industry in general.
Yeah, this was a tweet. An insurance executive told me that he expects new trucking and brokerage policies will forbid hiring non-domiciled CDLs. Quote, it's all over. So that's a huge thing.
Very huge thing. And
That's forthcoming, right?
yeah, so that's what's coming. And there was another clip we saw where a guy said that ICE is like all over these truckers. And he was driving in Indiana right near Chicago. And he was getting stopped, and they're stopping every single truck. So that's good to see. All right, next we have another Indian scam. This is in Canada. We're kind of moving on to, about to move on to our abroad section, but this is an Indian scam that happened in Canada.
Yeah, 8 men were charged after over $400,000 worth of stolen mail was recovered during search warrants in the Malton area of Mississauga. Peel police say removal from Canada is being considered for some of the accused. The investigation led to the arrest of the following 8 men who now face 344 combined charges in relation to various property crime. And it's Sumanpreet Singh, Gurdeep Chadha, Jashandeep Jatana, Harman Singh, Jasanpreet Singh, Manroop Singh, Rajbir Singh, and Kundarpijit Singh.
A lot of sayings.
A lot of Singhs. Singhs are not great.
Now, we've talked about this trend before where there's like a vulnerability and they see the vulnerability as an opportunity. This is like stealing people's mail or something.
Credit cards, anything you can use to steal someone's identity to get to the next step of that.
It's like the mail's just in the box. We could just go to the box and take it all out.
It's a high trust society exploit, right?
Exactly.
If you just go door to door, nobody guards it. They're off at work, right?
Yeah. Very true. All right, our next story from our migrant section, we have an illegal immigrant who killed somebody in a hit and run where they fled. And wait till you hear how much jail time they're getting.
The legal immigrant gets 1 year for hit and run death of University of South Carolina student Rosalia Fernandez Cruz, fatally struck University of South Carolina student Nathaniel Baker while he rode his motorcycle.
Isn't that sad?
1 year. Kill a guy, you're illegal, you're not supposed to be here, 1 year.
And ICE was looking for him too. And he kills a college student. He gets 1 year. I don't understand that.
Joe Biden,
And he left. He fled the scene.
yeah,
So it's like a real
probably drunk, you know.
Modelo, real trash shit. All right, let's go abroad for our migrant section.
Will it be fortune or will it be failure? There's only one way to find out.
Whom receive social benefits. Shocking data.
Anyone vote for that?
Did you? I never saw that come up on my ballot in Sweden or Norway or wherever I was.
And then all the normal Europeans have to pay for it. It's absolutely crazy. And here's a picture or a video of some migrants arriving, and they're getting all free shit. They're getting free food, and I was told free phones. And when they're taking the stuff, they're unwrapping it and just throwing the wrapper on the ground.
Oh ja, morgen starten die nieuwe salesmedewerkers. Met Revolut Business geef je ze meteen virtuele kaarten met bestedingslimieten, zodat je financiële processen vanaf dag 1 soepel lopen. Ontworpen voor efficiëntie, gemaakt voor ondernemers.
Race Beyond Limits. Hankov Tire.
So those are phones that they're unwrapping?
Some of them are unwrapping food. Some of them are unwrapping phones.
So you're a sub-Saharan African, you land on the shores of Europe, and the first thing you do is get something for free and then litter.
And then these people are going to help.
Increase the GDP or something?
They're going to help.
What's the lie they're even telling anybody?
And they're all, 40 million of them are getting social benefits.
Yep.
And then there's a girl there who thinks she's helping.
Yeah,
It's like,
great.
make sure you get out of there before it gets dark.
Yeah, for real.
Or maybe even right now, because they obviously don't care. And then we have a graph here about how in Denmark the contribution from migrants is not helping at all.
Yeah.
And we have a Lauren Chen reply after.
Yeah, this is Denmark average net contribution to public finances. And Danish origin obviously make an impact. Other Western immigrants always make an impact. And then the MENAPT immigrants are a total net drain throughout the history of their lives. And that's, I don't know what that acronym is, but we actually covered this chart once before.
So the chart's
Middle
based-
East,
yeah.
North Africa, something, I think. So those are the bad migrants. You guys know. You know them when you see them. Those type of migrants.
The ones that have dead eyes and they try your door.
Middle East, North Africa, something.
Yeah. And then, so the graph is basically like the contribution. So in the middle of your life, from like age 20 something to age like 60 something, you contribute more than you take. And then when you get
You're
older,
a taxpayer. You have a job. You're an effective man.
and then when you get older, you get like a Social Security type equivalent. Those migrants, they never go above the line.
They never go, as a group, they never reach productivity.
They just take. And can you read Lauren Chen's reply?
Pro-migration activists will say it's complicated. Meanwhile, the graph shows the clearest cut evidence that Middle Eastern and North African migrants are net drains on host countries.
Very sad.
Yeah.
And then we have some crime stats. This is out of the UK. I was interested to see, obviously there's a ton more crime now. I was interested to see how much of the crime is being solved. It's pretty crazy numbers. Based on the latest home data for England and Wales, in March 25, summons rates, which is a proxy for solve, compared by category. Overall, victim-based 6.3%, violence 6.3%, sexual offenses 4.2, theft 7.3, robbery 7.5, weapons possession 9. So they're not solving shit. Get figured out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's really crazy.
So they get free stuff. They don't even solve the crimes. They never contribute economically.
Just want to let you guys know we have a 30-minute bonus land episode dropping tomorrow at 11 a.m. the alligator, Mr. X was.
Mr. X fed the alligator.
But
You know
that's-
that's illegal in Florida.
Technically illegal, so
Are you going to report Mr. X or anything?
I'm not going to report Mr. X, and I don't think anyone saw him do it. But yeah, Mr. X has also been hand feeding gators locally.
Oh, wow.
Mr. X.
Wow, okay. Good.
All right. Well, that is the end of our housekeeping. We're now moving on to Cringe of the Week. All right, our first clip of Cringe of the Week. This woman gets married and then uses her wedding as an opportunity to tell people about trans and Gaza shit.
Alongside their demonization of trans people, our government and media is currently also complicit in a genocide. And I know some of you may think a wedding is not the time to think of this, but it frankly would not sit right with me to not take this opportunity when I have a platform to speak on this issue. Everyone should be able to have a day like today, and I don't mean with all this sort of thing. I mean a day surrounded by loved ones who wholeheartedly support us and our relationship with no judgment. We are in a relationship that is simultaneously celebrated by random strangers who find out we're engaged, but also is so mainstream that no one bats an eyelid if we were to walk down the street hand in hand. We are not ostracized by society for simply being
Who cares?
She keeps going. It's like an extra minute and a half of trans shit and Gaza stuff. And then they all applaud at the end. Big round of applause.
And she uses this opportunity to tell everyone, well, all right, then go help them. Oh, you're not going to help them? You're just telling us, so we have to go help them?
Yeah.
I'm here for the three-course meal and the dessert tray.
And open bar.
Yeah.
Dancing. When I first saw this, I was like, oh my God, like it's supposed to be the one day that's about you and like the love of your life, and you kind of profess your love and tell stories and do all these things, and everybody watches you, your whole family, you become one. And I was like, wait a second. Even by doing all this, like it's supposed to be about you, even by doing all this trans shit, it's still all about her.
Yeah.
Because it's like, look at how selfless and how my heart is so full. Look at how good I am.
That's
so
so
it
true.
is circular reasoning, but it is still all only about her.
That's a very good point.
And whoever she's marrying has to sit through it.
And I was going to say, where's the land acknowledgement? But
Yeah.
we got the clip late. Maybe there was. There
Yeah.
probably was one.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, speaking of trans shit, we mentioned this in the intro. There was a Canadian volleyball college match where 5 of the people on the court were biological males.
Yeah, so here's some footage. Rebel News used some copyright music, but there were 3 men on one team and 2 men on the other. And Rebel News said, "Who do you think won?" Yeah. So I'm guessing the 3-man won.
At least it's more fun to watch.
Yeah, but
And they get to wear the booty shorts.
Yeah, the guys wear the booty shorts. And then one of the more fucked up things that Rebel News was talking about is the
don't
ones
touch
with
that.
3 boys. They never came off. It wasn't like a rotational playing, so you got all the biological girls on the sideline watching men play against other
And
men.
they rotate into 2 spots.
in women's volleyball, guys.
Just start a men's league.
Yeah. I think we have one. It's not like just go to the men's league.
And then we have another story, a similar thing, but this one takes place in America and in high school. This girl was in Washington State, and can you read the tweet and then the reply?
Yeah, a 15-year-old girl refuses to play basketball against an 18-year-old man, and the 15-year-old girl ended up getting charged with bullying, harassment, and intimidation.
Charged?
I don't know what that even looks like. And, the Trump executive order obviously doesn't mean anything to the state of Washington, who supersedes that, apparently. And Lauren Chen said, if someone were to call me, a female, a man, to degrade or bully me, no court in the country would take any action. But if a man identifies as a woman, then someone correctly calls him a man, Washington State will charge them with harassment and intimidation. Clown world.
Very insane.
It's a protected class. It's a super group. They get to play volleyball. This woman makes the whole wedding about you.
They have fun.
They can't be bullied. And then, like, an 18-year-old, that's a fully grown man, you know? An 18-year-old playing against your daughter who's, like, 15, who is good enough to play varsity.
And a 15-year-old playing basketball.
Playing against a dude.
Respectfully.
So
It's a lot different from a 15-year-old girl playing basketball versus an 18-year-old man.
Yeah.
Like a 15-year-old girl is like having fun and she's passing to her friend. The 18-year-old boy can probably dunk.
Close
Do
to
you
it.
need anything today?
Crazy.
Close to it, yeah.
And then our next story, we mentioned this a long time ago, but we do have an update. Remember the U.S. high school makes history by naming first ever male student as homecoming queen, the twink guy?
Yeah.
Well, he's got AIDS now.
TikTok creator Zach Wilmore is vlogging his life living with HIV.
Not
So
good.
He's sharing information about how he got HIV, so...
Yeah, so unfortunate
that he went from homecoming queen to HIV guy.
I saw it coming.
I saw it coming a little bit too.
Yeah. But I thought gay people just took PrEP and then did even more heinous shit. I didn't know some of them were still just, and I don't want to say the raw dogging it, but because that's literal in this sense.
You go to one circuit party and it's over.
Oh yeah, you go to one sucking fuck fest and
that's
get
how
AIDS.
That's
You get
how
AIDS,
it goes.
brother.
All right, let's get to our churches in Europe under attack section. We mentioned this in the intro as well. There is a graffiti art installation happening in England, and the person putting it on is a real twink.
Yeah, the Church of England decided this week to cover the interior of the oldest cathedral in England in graffiti in order to represent the voices of, quote, marginalized communities. The Very Rev. David Monteith, Dean of Canterbury, said, "There is a rawness which is magnified by the graffiti style, which is disrupted. It is unfiltered and not sanitized." And then Keith Wood said, "Was horrified to see this graffiti on Canterbury Cathedral founded by St. Augustine himself. Then I discovered it was actually an initiative welcomed by the Church of England." And here's some of the pictures of the graffiti on the church.
Looks like shit. Looks horrible.
Are you there? And then what happens when we die? And stupid little sayings like that. They ruined a classical church.
That's like hundreds of years old, the oldest church in England. And then this is the person, the artist behind the desecration of England's oldest church is this twink in a dress, literally a guy in a dress. And then his bio says artist, vegan, queer.
They, them.
They, them. Pathetic.
So why is a person like that in a church?
To ruin it.
Yeah, to ruin it. It actually makes sense. Then you go, duh, to ruin it. And then it's like, who let him in? Did he break in?
Why
No,
didn't
the church let him in. And that's where, when you find out what's wrong, of course this guy ruined the church. You're absolutely right.
And then you wonder, why didn't he do it in a mosque? Or a synagogue?
They don't let him in there.
They wouldn't let him do it.
Yeah.
And that's not the only bad thing happening in these churches. We have another example here. Vatican Library now has prayer carpet for Muslims.
Why? And that's the thing. That's another thing. Like the Muslims, they're going to demand Muslim little carpets and they're going to demand to do their shit. But it's up to you, the gatekeeper, to say no graffiti in the church. Nah, Muslims can't come here.
Yeah.
It's all on us, right?
Yeah. And then our next clip, this is from St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican. I don't know if he's a migrant, but he's pissing in the middle of the church.
On the altar.
And we had to blur it a little bit, but you guys can see what he's doing. You don't just ragdoll that guy.
Yeah.
And he's got his ass out, and he pissed in the church at the Vatican. And that's not the only issue. We have a 400-year-old church burned in Bernaga, Italy. Look at this. Burned to the ground, 400-year-old church. I'm assuming a migrant did it.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be, dude. Has to be a migrant.
Very sad.
Doesn't survive 400 years of Italians.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's burning down. And
Hello?
then someone made a good point.
Are
They
you in
showed this
pain
picture
somewhere?
and said it's time to break the glass. In case of emergency, break the glass.
The executioner cloak.
It's time to break the glass. All right, well,
It's up to us. They're desecrating our churches. But it's up to us. You are the adult in the room. It's up to us to stop migrants. It's on us, you know? Of course, the freaks are going to try to do the freak thing. The Muslims are going to Muslim. It's up to Americans and Western Christians to be the gatekeepers of what's acceptable and not.
Especially
Too
considering
many subverting us from within.
so many subverting, and then everyone kind of thinks that the government's supposed to protect you, but like it doesn't, and it actually goes in the opposite direction where it's like allowing these things to happen. So you really do have to protect yourself.
Totally.
And live in a community where you can protect yourself. All right, that's the end of the cringe. We're now moving on to Urban Decay. All right, our first clip of Urban Decay, we have some Fent zombies, I believe in San Francisco, but might just be California in general. because you're arresting like violent, dangerous people, and then you have to arrest them 40 more times.
It's Sisyphus. conversation. It would never occur to me to lie like structure, but he just does it so easily.
Hey, don't touch that.
Next, uplifting stat, wokeness is dying.
Yeah, further indication that wokeness is waning worldwide in recent years. Net wokeness among younger people. And it says race differences are due to discrimination, like if you agree with this. Special treatment to blacks. We spend too little on blacks. We should let in many more migrants. And they're all reached their top in 2020.
Feels good.
Is the local top, yeah.
Love to see it.
And then there's another Swedish one that's about environment/climate and gender equality, and they're all dropping too.
So that's uplifting.
Feels good, man. The game is kind of over. And, you know, if you can't replace the woke people, like I feel like some people just age out of it. Like some people have kids and they're like, yeah, I was dumb. Like a millennial woke. Yeah, I was dumb. And then Gen Z's a different battle. Where Gen Z's already heckling Glenn Beck or Lindsey Graham or something. They're on some different shit.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's good to see it spring back in the other direction.
Very true. All right, next we have a clip from Kai Trump, Trump's granddaughter, who did a vlog with him. She asked him a fun question.
Is there a dream that you're still trying to chase? Or have you reached all your dreams?
You were asking questions like you're a television guy. I thought I was just going to come out and play around. You're asking questions like I'm on television. Yeah, no, look, you become president. That's a dream.
I don't think you
now what you can no, you dream that you want to be a great president. You're president. Now your dream is to be a great president.
That's nice. That is nice. He doesn't really ever answer the question. But he doesn't have to. That's an answer. I think that's an answer. That's pretty good. Next, I saw a funny meme of Trump standing. This is from a while ago, but I just thought it was funny. Can you read what it says?
Well, he's in the stance. He's in that like lean forward stance. And this guy says, it looks like he's about to float towards the scent of a freshly baked pie. That's so good. That's a good meme. All right. Our last clip, the Pure Americana clip of the week. This guy's ad is Collar and Squall. He's like a young kid who likes old fashioned.
Kingston, New York. Yes. Upstate New York in the house, and the most dapper one here, yeah? Thank you. Break it down. Tell me what you want.
Vintage Italian suit jacket, 1940s dress trousers, a shirt I made myself, and a cap by Thomas Harper.
Yeah, tell me about the shirt.
I choose to wear the shirt and the necktie together because the pinks are the same-ish, but different, and they work together.
I love it. And then you have this lapel pin from Dandy Wellington.
Yes.
Vintage styles, not vintage values, correct?
Yes, I'm a big fan of Dandy Wellington.
Big shout out to Dandy. Let's rate the fit.
Isn't that nice? Kids got hobbies.
Yeah. Hate to see him get bullied for it, though.
No,
I
he
know how
won't.
young kids are.
Yeah,
They're gonna
but
stuff.
he's up to something, and I bet he'll get like 1 million followers, and that's cool to kids.
For sure. That's true. That's true. You can overcome it now.
Yeah. All right. Good to see a kid with hobbies. Another Fleckus Talks in the books. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. 30-minute bonus episode dropping tomorrow. So if you guys are thinking about joining, now's the time.
A jacket for every journey. PME Legend outerwear is crafted to perform in any weather condition. PME Legend. Find your freedom.
Jij gebruikt energie op jouw manier. En als jouw energietijger een nieuwe hobby heeft, zie je in onze slimme app precies wat je verbruikt. Weet je ook direct waar je kunt besparen. Zelf geregeld, goed geregeld. Met Energie Direct.
Probably won't like the game on release. It's probably pretty much as is at this point. Because it's not enough time. You can't significantly modify the classes in a 1 month period, I don't think. And you especially can't modify, like, the combat itself, you know? That's not going to change. It hasn't changed very much in the last few months, so I don't think it's going to change very much, you know, in the next month. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, some jankiness too, like that zombie. A little bit wonky. Now, I will say, Kobe, for me personally, I'm just kind of waiting for, I feel like I'm just waiting for Mistfall. I don't know if you like Mistfall or not, so, or if you're just still kind of chugging along on Dad, but for me, after playing Mistfall, it's kind of made me just prefer that game. So I'm just kind of playing whatever I can while I patiently wait for that game to come back, pretty much. Arc Raiders. Well, the problem with Arc Raiders is I don't enjoy shooter games very much. And I also don't really like that Arc Raiders is not planning to do wipes. Because I think extraction games, wipes are generally better. So, I'm a little bit torn on how I feel about Arc Raiders at the moment. I might play it anyway, though, just not something to do. We'll see. Kobe, how do you feel about Arc Raiders not wiping? Since you're coming from the dad side, so I feel like you'll probably have like a, I don't know, what do you think? Like if Dark and Darker didn't wipe, would you still play it? Because I'm definitely a little bit torn right now when, you know, playing an extraction that doesn't have wipes. Just because I've been there before. I used to play Vigor a lot back in the day. And that game did not have wipes. And I feel like it got kind of stale after a while. Like having like an endless supply of big gear between seasons, pretty much. No, Midnight Walkers is gonna wipe. Arc Raiders is not supposed to wipe, from my understanding. From what I've heard, at least. Well, I mean, I agree with you. For me personally, I think wiping is kind of the point too. That said, you know, as far as I know, they're not planning to wipe, so I don't really know how that's gonna go. Or maybe they have some type of system that makes it work. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that they're not just, you know, not wiping without having a backup system in place to make the game still feel good between wipes, or, you know, just in general. I don't know. I hope they have that kind of thing figured out. Is it my dad killer? I don't really think it's fair to even call any game a dad killer, because I think every game can coexist in a state where, you know, you don't need a game to die just for another game to... That's like saying that Arc Raiders is going to be the Tarkov killer. Like, does anyone reasonably think that Tarkov is going to cease to exist because Arc Raiders comes out? I think the answer is no. It's clearly not. I'd be surprised if it did, at least. So no, I don't think any of these games are going to kill Dad. If anything's going to kill Dad, it's going to be themselves from their own updates or the court case. I don't think another game is going to be the one that does it. So, yeah. It's more about me finding a game that I can play outside of Dad for myself. But as far as, like, caring if, you know, a game kills off that, that's
Look
not really
with your
what I'm
eyes, not with your hands.
doing. What class is that? Brick? Yeah, the only unfun thing about Crow is you have to basically, like, fight people like this. It gets a little bit, like, stale after a while. Like, you basically need your E ability up and running, because if you don't have it, you're